Hi, and thank you for joining us for our next video in our Aladdin Vivarium series. In today's video, we're going to cover the full process of making the iconic Genie's lamp. So just like with the dragon from our Game of Thrones build, the whole process starts by digitally sculpting the model within ZBrush and then using various images from the movie as references to make sure that our lamp has the right shape and features. Starting off with a rough shape, we slowly block out the final silhouette of the lamp before going in and adding more detail like the pattern around the middle of the lamp and some of the embossed elements on the handle. When the model is finished, we send it across to one of our 3D printers to get a physical model of what we've just sculpted. Once the print is finished, you'll need to pull off all of the support material and finish it like we did with the skull's head on the Game of Thrones Vivarium. When the model is ready, it's time to make a mould for our resin versions. Start off by securing both pieces firmly to the base using a hot glue gun or similar, and then proceed to build a wall around it so that we aren't using any excess silicone. The pieces are all measured by eye to fit together and cut by hand. You could use a set square and metal ruler to help you with your cuts if needed. Just make sure to only cut part way down the foam, as we want to be able to bend it around the model without causing any extra gaps to appear. Once all of the pieces have been hot glued together, you can run the glue gun once around all of the seams to make sure that you've sealed everywhere properly and that no resin can escape. Next up is adding the silicone. Mix your batch together as instructed and then pour it over the mould, making sure to completely cover the model. You can tap or shake the mould to try to get all of the air bubbles to rise to the surface so that you can get rid of them, or ideally if you've got a vacuum chamber or pot, you can use it to extract all of the air bubbles from the silicone before you pour it into the mould. After the silicone is cured, we need to remove the supporting structure from around the mould. You can use your hands or a knife to do this. Once all of the foam board has been removed, it's time to remove the 3D print from within the mould. Using a sharp craft knife or X-Acto blade, cut along the centre line of the mould until you're able to pull the model out from within. Try to cut out as little as possible of the mould, as the more you cut away, the less strength will be left for future casts. When the model has been removed, you can move straight away on to making your first resin model. Mix your batch together, again making sure to follow the precise instructions for your resin, and then pour it into the mould until it starts to come out the top. Again, shake and tap the mould to try to remove as many air bubbles as possible. You can also use a vacuum chamber or heat gun to help with the removal of air bubbles from the resin. After leaving the resin to cure, you can then remove the model from its mould to see if there are any imperfections, which you can then fill and sand as needed with Bondo or another filler. Now we get to painting. Start off by using a gold spray paint to cover the entire lamp and making sure that you leave it long enough to dry before moving on to the next steps of painting. We're going to use a simple brown wash to finish off the paint job on the lamp, so we are starting by priming the areas that we're going to wash with some water, and then we cover the same areas again with our brown wash. Leave the wash for a minute or two until it starts to dry, and then wipe away the excess with a damp cloth to just leave it in the recesses. You can repeat this process multiple times until you get the desired level of darkness in the recesses of your model. Finally, we coat the entire thing in some clear plastic dip spray to make it Vivarium safe, and we're done. Hopefully you were able to follow along and now have a lamp or lantern of your own. If you like this video and want to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to our channel and leaving a like on the video. If you've got any questions or suggestions, then please feel free to leave it in a comment below. Thank you as always for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.